Alright, good morning everyone. Let me just check that's actually going... Yeah. Alright. Different kind of thing, setting up a scheduled stream and then connecting OBS to it. Alright. So, I'm going to be going over every part of, years, events, and everything like that. Hold on, I have this somewhere. Now I need to work out how I might... Like that. Boom. There we go. So the wiki has a list of all the news and everything from the year, so that's what I'll be using as my main guide. I unfortunately only realised too late last night that the actual stream had a calendar infographic that they used during their retrospective. Could have used that, but oh well, this is easy enough. I've actually made notes based on this. This will be fine. Morning, Corey. Actually, it's very early here. Just down to coffee, so hopefully I'll be awake enough for this. And I've also got maybe about 2.5 hours free for this live stream, so I'm hoping it won't go too long. We're just kind of going over year's updates and events and stuff like that, so it shouldn't take too long. And while people filter in, this is the weird thing where I have to change tabs and then turn off the actual overlay. Let's just start off with this while people filter in. Because I was initially thinking of doing this as just a video where I record my thoughts and everything like that. Then I realised that it would be kind of boring just going over my own opinion, so I was hoping to have a bunch of people in chat just going on about what they think about the events or stuff like that. If I think something's good, if they think it's bad, I'd like to hear the opinion just to have a bit of back and forth. There's one SSR down. I'm pretty close to the top of the frenzy bar, so feeling I'm not going to make it through 50 draws without breaking that. Although I could be proved wrong. Ooh. Might be. Oh yeah, alright. That's not going to be enough though. No. Anyone ever going to reach the top of that frenzy bar? I mean, we've got nothing but 6% banners left. Alright, let's start if... Bring up the... Oh no, actually, I don't need that. Pull up my notes because while this was revealed in 2020, while this was revealed in 2020, I think we should look at this to start. Katara and her design and everything like that, because she's the Zodiac for this year, so sense. Is there... Yeah, that'll do. Well, I guess her bike kind of matters as well anyway. So, let's pull this up. So yeah, she's the Zodiac for this year. Last year with, well, sorry, yeah. Last year with Rat, that was the first time they broke away from the, oh, hang on. 1 second. My mic's probably too low. This happened last time. Oh no, it's still set. Okay, cool. My mic should be fine. Let me know if it's too low. I might turn the music down a little bit just because I'm talking more in this one versus previous streams. Yeah, so last year with Rat, we had to break away from the whole blonde hair, that sort of look. And Katara's gone even further with that idea. When I first saw her, I wasn't really sold on the whole excessive cow print kind of design. Adding her being a biker as well sort of threw that even more. Funny thing is, the bike never really played much into her story over the whole thing. It's kind of just been there, like her Fate episode did include it, but I mean this recent event with her rare version hasn't had the bike at all. Her summer skin didn't have a Fate episode or anything like that, but they've added it in. Tabina had a story that involved the motorbike. She's actually got more to do with the motorbike than Katara does. So, I don't know, it's kind of not really done much. I hated the helmet the moment it was revealed. It's too on the nose, it's too much of a, cow motif and stuff like that. Previous Zodiacs have always sort of hinted at their design and mostly had their little pet animals as the main thing. But, like Monkey, she only has a tail and ears. Anila's even more subtle because she's just got curly hair, and that hints at the whole sheep fleece and stuff like that. And yeah, you can go through all of them, they have little hints. Then you get to Katara, and she just has a helmet that's straight up a cow. Not to mention she's the year of the ox, so it's even weirder. I mean, oxes are sort of cow-like, but yeah. But at least all of her skins have kind of removed the helmet and stuff like that, so I'm at least happy with those. I'm pretty much using the rare skin permanently now. There was one more thing that, her kit. I still haven't used the third skill much throughout the whole year. I've used it quite a lot, and it's just impossible to find a situation to really use it. I remember when she came out, someone mentioned that it's the type of thing that you use right before using her first skill because it consumes a bit of charge bar, then you fill it back up. Those situations are pretty rare, and I don't even think of it when it comes up. The thing is that it's not even that much benefit. Hang on, let me switch over to the wiki. And I've also got... I checked beforehand, and the wiki was down. Let's see if it's back up now. Hang on, let me mute that. It looks like the wiki's still down, actually. Alright, well, forget that. Gonna pull up her numbers, but I don't think the third skill actually adds that much. It's not a strong enough buff for the cost of it. Hopefully her 5-star fixes it one day, but yeah, not really good. Her first two skills are great though. Free charge bar for her in the MC is great. Working up to a charge factory activation, great. Her second skill, when I first got her, I had no LER bigs. Now I've got two, and her second skill is really powerful. Actually, I might have had one when I got her. I can't remember, it's been a year since I did the video on it, but I might have had it during there. But yeah, her skills are good. They certainly have their niche, but, and I guess, with this video, I wanted to open it up to everyone watching and get your opinions in the chat, stuff like that. So this will be a good point to start. What do you think Katara's position is related to the other Zodiacs? How strong is she? In Wind, specifically. Would you use Monkey or Katara? Who would you pick? And let me actually double check. I forgot to check this. What's the delay on this stream? Is there any? I don't think I can even change it, maybe. No, maybe Twitch I can change the delay, but I don't know about here. Oh, well, it looks like if I could change the latency, I can't do that once the beam's going. So, oh well. Yeah. I don't know, I think Monkey's still the better Wind Zodiac. Katara's only so good. This Monkey has heals, debuffs, buffs, everything you need. Katara's just kind of got skill damage. She has potential, yeah. I think it kind of comes down to her 5-star, but so much of her kit's just based around straight up damage. She's a very offensive unit. I can't see her 5-star adding a whole bunch of, you know, buffs and debuffs. Maybe buffs for the MC. But yeah. So every Zodiac has that permanent, or not, I don't know if it's, yeah, actually it is permanent now. They didn't used to be, but they've gone back and updated, like Anila and stuff like that. Katara's the one's debuff. It's nice with the supplemental damage. They're gonna need to update it to something like Monkey's debuff, where it adds more things like Mist to, you know, actually be somewhat usable outside of niche shows. But that is it for 2020. So let me pull up. Too many windows. I need a third monitor or something for this. Let's pull up the wiki. Okay. So, 1st of January, Happy New Year. Then on the 7th, because skill damage lasts longer to be scraped back. So, because skill damage lasts longer to be scraped back. Are you saying that's, like you're saying that in regards to 5-star, it's already strong compared to new characters? Actually, yeah. I don't know if this is what you were going for, but good point, because like her main focus is she probably has one of the strongest skill damage, or damage skills in the game, and newer characters are gonna overtake her with that. If anything, I'd say a guaranteed thing is when her 5-star comes along, she's gonna get a damage increase on her second skill, because it's probably not gonna be that impressive by then. You could argue it's already kind of falling out of impressiveness, like, we'll get to her, but Christmas Chicken, she already has quite a lot of skill damage. I mean, her first skill is like 5 million. Katara's is like 6 million without Aerial Beaks, I think. So, yeah. Anyway, so unfortunately, and this is why I was hoping, hey, the wiki is up. Alright. Let me just open up, see if it loads. No, can't quite show it on the screen, but there's the 503 error. We'll come back to that. So, unfortunately this list, it shows all the updates and stuff like that, but it doesn't really show events. So, some things I'm just going to have to try and go off memory. This one would be Rise of the Beast. We got a gold ring added, oh, that's right, the name changes, so nothing really specific to that one. On the 8th, something for Granblue Fantasy Versus. 12th, we got these poses from the Fest, so I guess that'll be when we get this current lot of Granblue Fest art in the game. Looking at these, actually, a lot of these I use still. I don't really use Kambura's one just because I use her skin a lot. Narmea and Vikala, I'm so used to calling her Rat. I use both of those. They're pretty good. I mean, most of the art from the Fest ends up being a lot better. So I tend to go with my character poses. There are a lot of ones that let me pull up the game briefly. There's a lot of ones that, you know, they have sort of action poses and stuff like that. Like, I mean, this is kind of an action pose. But, so oftentimes you have the first picture where it's sort of like, here's the character, the second one's some kind of elaborate art, something like that. Many times, I find the elaborate art doesn't really fit into the character frame too well. Some of them do, but like with Ko, I'm sort of going with his first one. Because I like the pictures where there's sort of it's just the character. You know, you can sort of recognize who they are at a glance and stuff like that. Pull that window back up. A lot of these, a lot of the arts from the Granblue Fest, they serve that purpose well. A lot of them are just the characters sort of, you know, smiling or in an action pose, something like that, but it's mainly just the character pretty, you know, vertical or whatnot, like not really out of frame or anything like that. So, yeah, they're good. Anyway, we've got the side story of Second Advent, and here, this is where I would really love for the wiki to be working, and it's still not. I should have loaded all these up if I was going to know the wiki would be down. So then we got our first Grand Fest of the year with Mishra and Zeke. I still do not have either of these characters. I wasn't really fussed on them when they came out, and still haven't drawn them through luck or anything. Zeke I don't know too much about. I'd like to pull up his wiki page and get a better idea, but Mishra, just looking back at her, it suddenly hit me. We've now got Christmas Mahira, who in Light, who is given off permanent buffs to characters, and it's one of those ones where, like, you used to have single target buffs that couldn't overlap, like I think Christmas Mary and Summer Greya, characters like them. Christmas Mahira and Mishra are both characters who have a permanent buff for characters that have a long cooldown, but you can stack them up. And I've noticed with that Light seems to be going in that direction. I guess it's like the beginner element for high level content. You've got heaps of HP, very easy to hit, damage cap, stuff like that. It seems to be like they're going for that as the beginner, you know, high level content element, and so we've got all these characters coming in now who have these strong buffs that over a long fight you'll be able to get them on everyone and benefit from them. So I don't know, I'd like to draw Mishra one day just to see how she goes with Christmas Mahira in a long fight or something like that. Although, if a fight goes long enough, I don't know if it's necessarily it's going to be strong, and I don't know if their buffs are necessarily good enough for defense. I mean, Mishra has a defense buff, but yeah. Can I get this one to come up? No. Actually, that's fine. I can go to the character. Hold up, let me pull up. So, next one was... what was the date on that? 26th of January, we get Vajra's 5-star. And so I guess that's the expected sort of date for Kumbira's 5-star. Where is she? There she is. So, she got some good changes. Things like Stackable Mist on her first skill. I can't remember if this... I think this one got Delay added. This skill didn't necessarily change, but the way it worked kind of changed, where it can consume all the charge bar for double duration. And then she got this weird little force skill that's... it's not bad. Chain burst activations don't always happen if you're, say, in full auto, or you're just kind of using Ogies whenever. Admittedly, Vajra can trigger it herself, but the random buff is kind of iffy. Where if you get charge effect reactivation, it's great. I think there's Veil and Shield, that's pretty good. Although Team Veil's a little better than single person Veil. But there are other ones that were just kind of, I think little things like Eels or something like that. I'd need to put the wiki to actually look at it. But yeah, as far as force skills go, it wasn't that impressive. Yeah, Delay was one of the ones that... her buff on Ogi got changed a bit. It mostly got squished down, a few little ones added. The damage cap was nice to add, but I don't feel like any of the other ones... like, none of the other buffs got increased. The attack was still 30% and stuff like that. So it was okay. I don't know, so I know that she got a lot more use from this, like, she was already used in Lucy teams for Overchain in water, I've heard some people still running her without really focusing on overchain, just because, I mean, you've got delay there, dispel on the Ogi, Jackal Mist. It's sort of all tools that you really need for Lucy and stuff like that. Did any of her passives change? Not really. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird sort of 5-star where it was like it was good for high level content. She also was always used for burst and didn't really change that any much at all. But I don't know. So what I'm building towards is I actually haven't used her since her 5-star. She just doesn't really fit in my water team. But it doesn't mean that she's bad. She's just not OP enough that she forced her way in. I mean, I got added Andira afterward. Maybe that was when I stopped using her. Charge bar gain up, +5. It is good. Didn't she have that beforehand though? Like her buff always had the charge bar gain on it. But you're right, it is nice to keep the whole team Ogiing. So, like, looking at this team, Vajra didn't get a whole bunch of heals and defensive stuff like Lily had, and she didn't get Assassin like Narmea had, so she's good, but she's not any OP. Hey Essus. You can give some of your opinions. Actually, Essus, let me pull it back up. We're just talking about Vajra's 5-star. Any opinions on that? You use her a lot more than I do, I guess. I'd say, so, kind of saying that, like, it's pretty good. It, let me just chuck that volume down a bit more. Fortunately, I'd say it's like the right volume for static songs, but once you get lyrics on, it starts getting a little iffy. Yeah, just saying, like, a fairly solid 5-star, but, you know, great for Lucy and stuff like that, but I just haven't used her since then, because it's not really an OP 5-star. Here's the wiki work. Ah, what level 30 class are you using her with? Kengo or something like that? Which we're going to get to, the 30 classes. Actually, looking at the time, I should probably push on. We're only in January still, although I did do my draw at the start. Still not working. Alright. So, let's move to the end of January now. And we had... Actually, it would be good if I had the wiki up so I could pull up the events properly. One sec. So, Essus, she's basically my best buffer for water. I haven't taken her off my team since her 5-star. I guess that's the point, actually. She is still one of the best water buffers. I use Vajra a lot with my water team, but it is Rising Force Ogi based. Ah yeah, Rising Force. I still haven't, there's a lot of, I would love to level up, and we'll get to the classes soon. I'd love to level up all my classes sort of evenly, especially because I do the tournament and stuff like that. It'd be good to get all of them to, you know, level 10, and then work on to their level 20 and stuff like that. But because you need, what was it? It was Berserker, Spartan, Cavalier, and one other class. I can't remember. But since you need them at level 30 in order to get the upcoming tier 5 classes, I've just been working on them. And, I mean, you know, it's nice to have those classes at level 30, but I'd like to get some of the other ones starting to level up. Sorry, I came here to Andira. She has a weird sort of buff where it's not really, you know, it's just multi-attack and damage cap. I guess my ward team doesn't really have a buffer. I guess there's Lily on Ogi. He does that water attack. But yeah, you're right that Vajra's probably still the best buffer. I guess I'm just like all in on the crit memes where I'm not really focusing on on buffers too much. So, let's move back to the end of January. Oh. So we had the Nectar event. Right. What are your opinions on the Nectar event? So, as I see it, actually, when I was thinking of doing this as a video, I started writing notes about this. And this was actually the point where I decided I should probably change this into a live stream rather than just writing notes and stuff, writing like an individual video, because I wasn't too fussed on Nectar's event, and if anyone loved it, I'd love to hear them push back on that. Because, so the first part of the event where it was just Nectar's history and, can't remember his friend's name, it starts with Shin. When it was, that part, it was kind of interesting, you know, they were just like in a prison cell in some kind of astral, research facility, you know, a lot of sort of mystery there, and oh, this could be interesting, stuff like that. Then suddenly the event turns into Lucius? Yeah, Lucius and Tina and Goblin Mage and them hunting down goblins, and it just so happened that they fought them right where Nectar and them were. And it was sort of like two plot lines kind of overlapping that didn't really have anything to do with each other. They just kind of collided, and then there wasn't even really fallout from it. They just, you know, Nectar was just like, hey, cool, I'll join your crew and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was just sort of, it started off alright, and then just didn't really go anywhere. Nectar event is disappointing, yeah. Although, I don't want to be too hard on it, because we kind of came to this conclusion, like my crew and whatnot, over the when we're watching the live stream, the Granblue Fest, that the second half of the year events are a lot worse than the first half. So, I mean, this event's in the good part of the year. Even the summons sort of like, although, I mean, event summons are usually kind of meh anyway, but some of them you like the skins and stuff like that. I don't know. Guess Goblin Mage skin's fine. It was a weak event. Esses says it was more focused on the astral thing than the actual characters. See, that's the thing, it wasn't even focused on that enough. Like, you know, I was saying, at the start, it was all this mystery of what's the astral research lab doing, and then it never focused on that after it. We got more Nihan backstory in a little side note from the... Oh, sorry. A little side note from the Six Dragons on this event that we did. Then we... Oh, yeah, sorry, I get what you're going at. Yeah. Yeah, it was... If this was an anniversary event or something like that, I think they could have done something, you know, good with it. But yeah, they were too narrow-focused, where it was just sort of like, we're going to touch on the Astral Research Lab and then not delve into it at all. Oh yeah, Corey, I'm mostly looking at the story of the events. Like, this was just a normal event. Besides that, we got this new... Oh yeah, we did get a character skin there. So yeah, I mean, even by standards of an event, we got a skin rather than a character or a SSR ticket, so it wasn't great. Oh, Nectar, sorry, yeah, you're right. Actually, we'll come to it in a bit, but I'm surprised that we didn't go more into the blue hair thing with the Six Dragon event, because we had all the blue hair characters. Shinsa, or Shinsha, or whatever her name is, Mugen, and of course the MZ. But yeah, they were there, and we kind of, if you'd played their events and stuff, you knew that they were blue hair people, but they didn't actually show it at all. So, next one up is we have the Lakefest. Now, let me see. I have this somewhere. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I have skipped something. Just very briefly, on the 15th of January, we had Guild Wars. It was a light Guild Wars. Really quick, open that up. There. The light Guild Wars. Interestingly, when I was collecting all this information... Oh, so, first of all, this was the one that we had the T-Rex enemy. After we got that from Vikala's event. Who did it replace again? That's right, the Dark Crest Summon guy, that weird little Cthulhu monster. They promised to put him in Dread Barrage. We still haven't had him in Dread Barrage yet. He's still waiting for that. I'm assuming that they probably had his model already made, so we will get him one day. Problem is we just haven't had any Dread Barrages since then. But so when I was putting all together all this list, I noticed that we've only had 5 Guild Wars this year. That's not bad. I mean, less Guild Wars is better. And I sort of noticed this when we hadn't gone through the full 6 elements for, you know, tournaments and stuff like that. However, a downside to not having 5 Guild Wars, we only get the refresh with Guild Wars, we don't get it with Dread Barrage. So we've only had 5 gold bars, 5 gold bar refreshes, 5 Sunstones, 5 Everlights, potentially 5 blue merits, but it's less than that because they only started adding them, I think after this one though. There's been like 4 blue merits or something. But yeah, so if next year's the same as this one with only 5 Guild Wars, you're gonna have the same thing of 5 Everlights, 5 blue merits, gold bars, Sunstone, care about them. Sort of, I don't know what to make of that. Like, I'd rather Guild Wars be done away with, but it's not really set up for that right now. If anything, we kind of need more Guild. Sucks. Rather than just transfer the refresh over to Dread Barrage. So let me that. And but I had a whole bunch of videos. To bridge not having any wiki to go. Let me. And so, that's right, they did do Sunstone Shards to make up for it. Came out in an interview with Granblue and that they want to have 5 Guild Wars per year, at least for Dread Barrages. Okay, well, they're on track for that, so that's good. As long as they just do refreshes on Dread Barrage. Anyway, so give context to what's on screen right now. So, end of the month of January, we had the Lakefest, which had Lamretta, Nectar, and I think that was Grand Cagliostro. Oops. Yeah, Grand Cagliostro. Funny, I still don't have Cag, but I sparked Lamretta in this one. She's fun. She's still kind of gimmicky. In fact, like, it's weird. I think I still have her on a team for farming Arcarum. I think for a while I had her on my auto team, because even though she has that one turn of not taking any damage, she's fairly good in auto. Just her whole kit of, I'm gonna take all the hostility, not take any damage, and then do a whole bunch of damage back again. That was, I mean, it's kind of broken, and because of that, it's not really most optimal. The longest time after this, I was trying to get a solo video done with Beelzebub, just using Lamretta. I was always able to get up to 50%, and then would just die after 50%, because unfortunately you need Sandoff on there. He just, with his whole ability to, his first ability puts Petrify on him, so you've essentially got 2 delays in that. And that's what you need for Beelzebub, because after 50% he just ogies all the time and no real way to cancel it. Let me that one there. Is the wiki working? Can I pull up Cag's weapon? No, I cannot. Oh, I can't remember it, but I'm pretty sure her weapon's pretty good. Again, I don't have her, so I can't quite remember it. Lamretta's weapon is still pretty good. I used it a little bit during Guild Wars, but I haven't used it much besides that. It's just the unworldly Ogi effect. It's only broken in single auto attack raise. Yeah, you're right. I think, I can't remember the Guild Wars. I've got the video for it. But when we had Earth favored Guild Wars, I'm pretty sure that was AoE attacks, and it just didn't work for Lamretta at all. She still got the counter off, but she wasn't able to properly tank it or anything. Alright, then we move into February. The 10th of February, we have these weapon uncaps. Hold on, I'm just going to have a drink of water. because I'm dying without one. So, these uncaps, I think, I can't remember if we had a big wave of these sort of things previous year, or if this was the first one. But when this came out, like a few people had some Izmir swords or maybe a Siegfried sword to test it out. I imagine most people like me had foddered a whole bunch of these weapons because they weren't really good enough, so it's a case of trying to build them back up now, and since you can't spark any of these, they're difficult and RNG based to try and get back. But, and if only I could open this up. Nah, we're still down. The, I think Siegfried's Sword has gotten some good play. Well, Siegfried's Sword is an offensive enmity sort of thing. I think Izmir's Sword has more play going on right now. It was medium attack, crit, and supplemental charge attack with double summon boost goes to 500k. That was for Cagliostro's weapon. But yeah, that sounds about right. Like it's one of those sort of actually it may have even been the first supplemental grand weapon. I'd have to go back and check the previous years to check that, but I could see that being the case. I mean, she's sort of a new wave of grand characters. But anyway, yeah, these gacha weapons, I don't have any of them, so it's hard to really opine on, but I think I still see some of these used in grids, so, I mean, they're still kind of around. Izmir's Sword seeing more use for sure for that supplemental damage. Yeah, I'd say when it came out, everyone was sort of going on about Siegfried's Sword, about how great that was. I feel like I see more of Izmir's Sword in people's grids and stuff like that. And again, I'd love to have the wiki working so I could open it up. I remember Tina's weapon also being good. The rest of these were sort of middling at best, but yeah, Tina's one was one of the other ones that had some potential. Anyway, let's move on now to Valentine's Day. Let me just check my notes that I haven't skipped anything. Oh, so in my notes I have that the 10th was also the time when we got, yeah, there's no note of it, we got the home screen characters, like the actual ability to this little thing, where we can actually pick the characters on the main screen. This came in on the 10th of February. And then it was a while later before we got the randomized one on each screen. Which is good, because I never used the feature before that. It was always annoying to set it all up and then just have one character on there all the time. You have to manually flip it around. Now that it's random, I can actually, you know, just let that go. The Valentine Grimm one was a bit of a meme for a 0-button OTK. Was Grimm's weapon on there? Oh yeah, it was, yeah. Funny thing is, I still don't even have Valentine Grimnir, so let alone his weapon. And yeah, it was, like I said, I wish the wiki was working so I could pull these up and actually have a look at them. I mean, I feel like I should have done more prep and had all these things open in a whole string of tabs, but that with all the stuff here, that would have been way too many tabs. So, yeah, best feature for the home screen. Yeah, I actually like it. It's nice to have just, you know, pick a range of characters and go through it. Except I think there's only 6 slots. I'd actually like them to extend it to, you know, 12 or so, double it up, because mine's getting close to being full, and I've even limited my selection as is. Anyway, so next lot of characters, the Valentine's characters. I don't know about anyone else, but I sparked during Christmas, and then sparked during New Year's, and then I think I even did a spark on Super Muku because I was really close, but that still, you know, cost maybe 30 or 40 draws. Then I sparked again for Lamretta, so by the time Valentine's rolled around, I just had no crystals. Not to mention, we're coming up on the anniversary, and it's kind of worth saving a spark for there, so Valentine's are just always in a weird time slot for me. I could never get a spark off during it, and I can't remember, did they give us any free rolls doing it? I don't think so. The wiki's back up? Let's see. If it is back up, it's still taking ages to load, so see how that goes. Yeah, the wiki was giving 503 errors before. Bam, F5 a bit, the wiki seems to resurrect itself. Alright. Yeah, that goes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to rely on you, chat. Who has Valentine's Monica or Valentine's Aglaval? Hey! What do you know? Okay, it takes forever to load, but we got that. Alright, so Monica. Monica is... like, she's got some powerful buffs and stuff like that. Giving all allies Veil, pretty nice. Veil characters are just always good. You know, like, they could have the crappiest kit ever. I mean, for the longest time, you know, like, you go back a few years, everyone, like, sorry. No matter what, who was it? Arulamea. Arulamea does not have a good kit, but people still ran her just for her Veil. So, like, you can get by... I mean, Veil nullifies one of the enemy's mechanics. I mean, just... you know, you can run... it's sort of like having a buffer who... so, let's say you have a boss who puts attack down on you. You run a buffer who gives you attack up. Running someone with Veil is kind of the equivalent of that, except it also gets rid of any other nonsense that may come from it. So it's just one of those things where it's like, it's kind of a buffer. It just allows whatever hard carry you have on your team to perform properly. So, on top of that, Monica also gives allies charge attack cap up and stuff like that. Damage cap up. The only problem is this whole 12 buff thing. This is a weird thing. You see these buff things going on in Earth a lot with Golden Knight, who else has it? Kane's weapon has it. And it's actually a weird thing where Earth seems to be the one element where the developers seem to favour Magna, because Yggdrasil gives like 4 buffs. So you're, you know, a third of the way there just with Magna. But that being said, I've tried setting up those buff sort of setups for... I was using Gold Knight in Lucy for Overchain for a little bit. When I got Kane's weapon, I was trying to set that up to work. Chicken can give a lot of buffs, but even then, it's a weird sort of mechanic where it's difficult to get up all the time. I think, I don't remember if it was with Kane's weapon, but I did find a setup that allowed for permanent uptime of all those buffs, but it was a weird sort of team. Also, I think that team was actually full. That was based around the weapon, so I don't know if there's actually space for Monica. She does give some buffs herself, but yeah. I don't know about these. These 12 buff kind of mechanics are always a little iffy. I mean, she's got some nice stuff under the 12 buff, but if you can't reach that, you've got give allies charge bar, personally gain some triple attack, and Veil. Sort of like, eh. Sorry, I'm spending too long on Monica. Let's see what you guys are saying. I saw a bunch of messages coming in. Skip 2020's December discounts for Valentine's, and I was lucky to get every Valentine unit besides the Medusa. Actually, that's funny. I think... let's see if I can open up... oh yeah, the Monica. Let's see if I can open up the Valentine characters list. If it'll load. Because I'm pretty sure that I have not a single one of the Valentine's characters. I have Valentine's Narmea, at least, the SR. But yeah. John got none. Tesby has... I can't remember if at that time if I asked if you had one or both, but Oni has both. Monica very core for Earth Kengo. Okay. Actually, that would make sense with all the charge bar and Ogi cap. Aglaval is just good as shit for hard and far content. I guess by far content you mean Far Sun? Helios? Yeah, all that stackable mist is pretty nice. But, so, when I did my Christmas Mishra video, someone was saying that I should pair her with Aglavale. I don't see the synergy. Still, I can't see it. The most I can see is, okay, he activates his ability 6 times, kind of like Mishra activates a lot. Oh, I only just realised that my screen capture's not quite lined up for the character sings. It's sort of lined up. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, I guess he can spam stuff out with Mishra, but that's about it. He doesn't really synergize with her. Mishra doesn't use crests or anything. These are buffs for himself. This is sub-ally stuff. I mean, he's not bad, but yeah, I'm just sort of looking at that in that way. Oh, sorry, Far's full order. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, that being said... No, never mind, actually. He wouldn't be good for Lucilius. He could run in it for the mist, but wouldn't be... Aglavale, sorry, I keep yellowing a bit on Valentine's and keep getting men. All I want is SR no. Wait, you don't have her? You've rolled on it a lot. Here we go, Valentine's characters. I don't have Aglavale, I don't have Clarice, I don't have Grimnir, I don't have Medusa, I don't have Melisabel, I don't have Monica, I have Narmea. I don't have Skatcher, and I do have Tina. I've got the SRs, that's all I've got. And that's from, like, throwing a few draws at it. Maybe it was 3 draws at one point or something. But yeah, like, Valentine is just a black hole for me. I just have none of the characters. I might put, oh, why am I trying to click? I won't. I might put, Valentine Narmea in my next tournament. Find a space for another, SR in there. Just to give her some more representation. Need more Narus. Valentine Aglavale, best unit for almost every content. And I missed one above that. Aglo is definitely top 5 best light units now. Top 5? Maybe. I guess if one of your other top 5s involves someone who uses Aurora Crests, then yeah, sure. All allies gain a random buff. What are these random? Pale, Dark Cut, those are good. Revitalize, Strengths. Yeah, I guess the debuff success is the only bad one. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know, I'm just still not sold on him. Like, I hear, you know, everyone's singing his praises, even back when he came out, and I just sort of looked at him and was like, yeah, he's a character. Does his thing. Anyway, close those down. I sparked during Valentine rerun plus Lich, and I got all of them except for the good ones, so I had to spark Aglo. When was the Valentine's rerun? I can't remember it, but yeah, I know that we have those mid-year Christmas reruns and Halloween reruns, stuff like that. But actually, if it was with Lich, it must have been recent. I didn't even pay attention to it. Christmas Mishra plus Valentine Aglavale is good. Everyone keeps saying that, and I'll take your word for it. I think Christmas Mishra and EO is good. I'd say it's better, but yeah, sure. Aglavale caps debuffing. A lot of skill damage, lots of buffs. Just good character for damage over time. You're right about capping debuffing, you're right about skill damage. Buffs are okay, I guess. I'd rather run, what are they called? Hallowell and Mallowell for buffing. But, I mean, he probably has better buffs anyway, actually. That might take a reload open. I mean, he has strengths and stuff like that. Yeah, that's good. Actually, no, the better buffer is, what's her name? Twayan. 5-star Twayan, just after Oging. That's 100%, 50% increase crit. But yeah, I mean, I buy what you're saying. I was just going on about, at the start of this, Wind Monkey being really good because she had a whole bunch of buffs and debuffs. So I can buy what you're saying about him being a great character. You don't need to focus on crest mechanic, he reaches them very fast by himself, but I want to focus on the crest mechanic. I've been wanting KMR to focus on the crest mechanic for the longest time. He's still... I mean, we're onto Sunderstruck now, and crests are still kind of half there. At least, now, again, we'll get to this when we get to the level 30 classes, at least we actually have a crest class now. But so September Flash Fest was when we had after September was when we had the close to Halloween. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I just completely blanked on it. I didn't even remember it. Okay, so next up on the 19th of February, and I'll check my notes to make sure I'm not skipping anything. Because yeah, this list doesn't have all the things going on, so I've actually got a list of the dates over here. So we have the 6-star Transcendence for Sarasa and Quatra. You know what I didn't do? I didn't pull up search for it. I had at some point that image that I used for my 6-star Eternal review. It actually had all the characters' stuff. Hang on. Let me just search for it. There. Alright. Oh, okay, hang on. I don't have the full image in it. I go bit by bit. But that's good enough. Let's put that up. There we go. Actually, I've got Sarasa going on the side. So, we had this come in little parts. So, what we missed in December of the previous year, Iwalt. So, for Uno, we got his Drain, as well as the damage cap. Drain on Ogi, that is. Thong got the reset on her third skill, as well as damage cap. And then by February, we had Sarasa getting Dispel on her axe form and an extra, 1 million plain damage on her sword form, as well as some damage cap. And Quatra got 10% Echo on Ogi and 5% damage cap. I guess skip talking about Uno and Sarasa, but so Uno and Twain won though. Sarasa's 6-star was at this level not very good. I mean, Dispel's nice, but it was 1 Dispel every 2 Ogis, so it wasn't reliable. I think Quatra actually had the best one at this point, because he already had some good buffs on Ogi, and suddenly he's getting Echo as well. I remember a lot of people were going for him at the time, and I, with my limited resources, was just focusing on Sarasa. But I mean, this all gets better later on when we get to the 130 uncapped. But at the time, this was just a thing. At this point, we sort of knew what all the shock from the 110 uncap had gone away. We were just kind of working towards that. I think for me, I had been doing nothing but Akasha in between this period, so when this came along, I had all the stones ready for Sarasa, and only Sarasa didn't have enough Damascus crystals for Quatra at the time. And then we get to the 26th, the anniversary event. I'm always surprised every year, right now, close to New Year's and everything like that, we're less than 2 months away from the anniversary event. I've got one event in between now and then, and a little more than 2 months away from the next roulette. I kind of wish we'd get another roulette in the second half of the year just to space them out, because we just have 2 roulettes back to back and then a whole year of nothing. But anyway, so this is Stay Moon, broken up into multiple parts. Where it is there. Actually, how split up was this event? Alright, I'll try and do it in stages. So the first part of the event... Oh, actually, I don't know. How would you even break this down? I guess it was sort of in 4 story steps, so let's kind of go by the 4 story steps. You had part 1, where... what was it? That was just sort of the setup of building the rocket, with Mahiro building it, and the whole thing with that other lady, who I can't remember the name of, with her little whip thingy. This was just like the prologue to the whole event, and even this was entertaining. I mean, the whole event in general, I just liked. You know, it was probably one of the better events of the year. I'm going to tentatively just say it was the best event of the year. We'll see as we come along to other events if I decide to disagree with that. Home Sweet Moon was great for what it was. Lengthy enough to tell what it wanted and pretty hype and fun. That's the thing as well. It was really long, but it wasn't stretched out. It was pretty well paced. Like, there was so many little things going on. So this prologue, it could have just been a prologue of, hey, we're going to build the rocket and, you know, go to the moon, stuff like that. They even had a little plot going on there with this other lady who I can't remember the name of, and I wish I did. I wish I actually just wrote down the name in prep. But yeah, like that was kind of its own little event. I mean, if that was just a standalone event, it, you know, would have been the same sort of equivalent of some of the later events we've been getting. Yeah, I mean, this little part was still pretty great. And then on the 28th we had the Lakefest, which brought us Vatharaga, Zeta, and Farah and Jury. I only have Zeta of the lot. Anyone else have the other two? I believe that both Zeta and Vatharaga are pretty great. I mean, Zeta's good. Her unworldly damage, Ogi damage, and everything like that. Farah and Jury, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no matter what, I might as well open those up just to see if we can get them loading. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Farah and Jury are not good because I have not seen anything from them since the event. Essa says it was pretty up there, too bad it robbed Anila of a grand version. You're right, although Anila had a release fairly close to this, I can't remember, it was like end of 2020 where she got a new version, or maybe even earlier actually. I noticed going through all this that all these characters came out at times when I just didn't even remember. But, they're loading. Yeah, but you're right, like, we got a lot of OP characters, and Anila kind of missed out, which makes me a little worried about, Theta, who just now got a version, and maybe there's going to be a whole bunch of OP versions at the anniversary that she'll miss out on. Vatharaga, yeah, he's unworldly damage too. That's right, he has this substitute all ally and lethal attack dodged. He can kind of do Paradise Lost with that, but that's risky because you're going to take plain damage immediately after. Unless he has something that heals him afterwards. Yeah, not really. Yeah, so I don't have Vatharaga, and I haven't seen too much from him. I mean, unworldly damage is good enough. I mean, you can put him on a meat farming team for Guild Wars and he'll do fine. Ogi restores HP. Can only... Oh wait, sorry, no, you can't put him on there because he can only do his Ogi under 25% HP. So, yeah, alright. That's the thing, all these guys have little requirements for their Ogis. Zeta's one of the fairer ones, because she can Ogi, she just does a little bit of damage to herself. So, yeah, and she also has Assassin, so Zeta's definitely better than Vatharaga. Let's see what you guys are saying, because I don't know what else to say for that. I don't have him, so I don't want to trash on him too much, but he doesn't look very good. Compared to the other, at least. So we're back up after Essa. So best event for me was the recent one with the vintage weapon. Yeah, we'll get to that one. I feel bad for my bestie not getting an Anila ult. If you rip the head off of an otherworlder with your bare hands, you kind of deserve the promotion. Yeah. I still have none, hoping for the next spark in 3 days. Oh yeah. I haven't even thought about if I could draw, like, you know, I'm always looking to the characters on radar, but I always forget these previous characters who I might get in my spark. But yeah, I don't know if I'd want Vatharaga, maybe. I mean, yeah, an unworldly Ogi is great for burst combos, but he can't even do burst because of this HP requirement. I just don't have Zeta. You're missing out on the good one. Vatharaga is just Fire Vayne with more finicky... it's just Fire Vayne, more finicky finicky to use, but always came with my LER raid hosts. Actually, yeah, I guess he would be good in a lot of those harder hitting ones. And the thing is, like, Fire Vayne, I think Vayne's better what he does. Like, so Vayne does the whole same thing as substitute all and lethal attack dodge, so he can do Paradise Lost, but he immediately follows it up with a heal. Whenever the enemy ogies, he does his first skill, which heals him. And his first skill can usually survive the plane damage after Paradise Lost, but if you have his Ogie buff on that gives him a double first Ogie, he'll definitely survive any damage in Lucilius after Paradise Lost. She'll get it on the rerun, don't worry. Farah and Jury, yes, we need to go to them, take way too long to fully turn on. So, Death Sword level 5. Raise Death Sword by 1, boost to attack based on level, and you get a triple attacks. Raise Death Sword by 1 upon being targeted by a foe. And they get buffs at level 5, so you need to triple attack 5 times or get hit by the enemy 5 times. And fully restore caster's HP. Yeah, seems like a lot of setup for not much payoff. Lethal attack dodge is kind of like, okay. 80% echo is nice, but yeah, that... I mean, you give yourself the guaranteed triple attack, and then it takes 3 turns to get that guaranteed back. You're kind of relying on luck in between. That's going to take many, many turns. But when both are fine... Oh no, you don't need to press this button to get it up there, just get hit. But when both are 5, you get 20% amplified. That's alright. Yeah, they're not great. I agree with your assessment. It takes too long to get going, and they don't really have much going on before then. If it was faster, they might see some more niche users. Yeah. Yeah, they just don't really... Like, they've got no buffs, they've got no debuffs. They're just kind of a selfish attacker, but they take a while to become a proper selfish attacker. Vathoranga heals constantly because of his damage skills. Oh, sorry, did I miss something? He heals constantly because his damage skills auto-activate from triggers or being in enmity. Oh yeah, sorry, his first ability heals him. Wait, did I miss that? Oh, activate... Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right, I completely missed that. He is Fire Vayne. Does he have a double activation of that first one? Doesn't seem to, but yeah, he does have a healing node here, so yeah, maybe he could do Paradise Lost just as well as Vayne could. The thing is, when Vayne's ability double activates, you got a 5,000 heal. This one's just a 2,000, perhaps 3,000, maybe 2,500 with that buff, something. But yeah, anyway. Anyway, so we got to move on. Looking at the time, and I'm realizing I might run out of time if I don't speed it up. Okay, so big one. On the 10th, this was after the live stream. We get the Masquerade class, their weapons, the skins for them, and balance update notes. Let's see if I can load those up. And while that goes, let me put this over here. Don't buffer on me, YouTube. So we got the Masquerade class, we get the new boss for the event. What part was this at? Was this at part 2 or part 3? I want to say this was part 2. Maybe it was, I don't know, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, part 2 of the event, we head up on the rocket with the piloting the mech sort of thing and break into the moon base and get Isaac out. Again, you know, good little section. All of it was interesting and stuff like that. May as well do the story all at once rather than breaking up into little bits because I'll forget where we're at. after that, in the third part, then it's oh, now I'm trying to remember. This boss is from part 3. Okay. Yeah, so part 2 would have ended with us fighting 2 of those 3 guys. Then I guess, yeah, this part 3 was when we went out onto the... What was it? Our mechs went like flying off into space. I can't remember if they came back in part 3 or if part 3 was just Isaac and Cassius. Now I'm starting to remember that I know the basic beats of the story, but I actually can't remember the individual parts of it. In a while. But yeah, so then there was the whole part of them escaping onto the moon surface with Isaac in his Big Daddy suit, and this big machine getting shot from the cannon towards Earth, and then actually it was perfect for that little period between part 3 and part 4 where, you know, in the story the cannon's been fired and it's like slowly coming back to Earth. There was just a perfect sort of wait in between where it sort of, you know, added to that feel of just waiting for it to land. And then yeah, part 4 was just, you know, the big climax with the thing landing on Earth and Eustace getting his gun upgrade, his 5-star upgrade, all that sort of stuff. Let me jump over to this one, which is Final One. Oh, and so that was Masquerade being used there. So got the Masquerade class. Then at the end of the event, we got the Relic Buster class. These are the only 2 classes for the year. It's actually surprising that these were both at the same time, and we haven't had anything since, but both classes were good. Masquerade has a lot of potential to be OP with, you know, setting up a really good burst turn. Relic Buster's just solid all around. That Relic Buster can be used in anything, you know, for meat farming or anything like that. It's a mechanic 2 that we, you know, needed, and for some reason it took that. Still waiting on Mechanic 2, and I don't know how Mechanic 2 is going to differentiate itself from what Relic Buster now does. Actually, was this guy at... No, this would have to be in part 4. Yeah, that's right, we fought this guy, and then we fought the big boss. But he was proud for some reason. My main issue is those life forms and moon dwellers are fighting. Still haven't been explained at all. Oh yeah, you're right. That was like a few events ago that all those. I don't know, I'm fine just sort of writing it off as they're just the monsters of the moon. Same way we have, you know, all the monsters on Granblue's planet and stuff like that. But, oh, that's interesting. If I tab away from YouTube, it actually blackens the screen. Alright. Then, let's see if we can get these balance. Yeah, it worked. Okay. So the balance. Let's try and go over this quickly. Summer Beer got a balance change. Her initial kit was always kind of weird, and I don't think her balance really made it any less than weird. They added some of these things in from her Earth version with like double strike and whatnot. I don't know. Summer Beer kind of fell out of favor with some of the more recent fire characters who, you know, are a little more OP and stuff like that. So I don't know. These changes are alright, but I haven't really used her much since. Anila got a change. One of the main ones is her buff can't be removed anymore, which is sort of what I was talking about before, where a lot, you know, this is now the trend for Zodiacs where they have permanent buffs. She got a few changes, but they're all really subtle. I mean, she was already a very strong buffer for fire, but these changes didn't really make her OP or anything like that. Newbie is really good for bursting. Well, I've been missing out then. I can see how, I mean, with the double strike and everything, and on top of the assassin. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, then Anila. It's funny, like, I still use Anila, and I barely feel any of these changes anyway, you know. I guess the accuracy of delay going up, that's something noticeable. Summer Bee is packing more heat now, at least. She's still quite good for bursting and remains a relatively strong choice. Yeah. Like I said, I just never really use her, unfortunately. So yeah, nothing much else for Anila. I don't know, like I said, it's just like a subtle little upgrade. She was already fine, and they just improved her a little bit. Ingwe, I remember using him in the tournament, and like his changes are kind of nice, but it really didn't change the feel of him at all. All of his stuff's still kind of similar there. Anila was already good. All she needed was an undispellable buff and better radon delay. Yeah, you're right. And that's sort of why I say like you barely felt the difference. It's like when her buff was up, it's the same as it being undispellable. You'd maybe get annoyed if it got dispelled, but you know, it was sort of like, I don't know. That's one of those changes where it's hard to feel the difference unless it happens. And the delay, yeah, I was always annoyed with her delay missing, and now it's just more consistent. But I mean, you press delay for the intention of it delaying. It just doesn't rise to like being noticeable. But it's good. Octo got a very little... oh, that's right. Purgatory went to 0 cooldown. That's the big change there. Doesn't work in full auto anymore. Kind of alright with it being a 0 turn cooldown. I've used that a few times in Lucilius, where you know you dump your whole charge bar so you can use his force skill to get 200% charge bar. But besides that, I don't know, rarely do you dump a whole bunch on one turn unless you really know that you're going to be able to get your stuff back. Oh, sorry, with Ingwe, Tough Guy mode can stay up permanently. Yeah, oh no, wait, was that it? There's something that, like, reduced the amount of charge bar used on it, I think. I don't know, 40% maintained. Added guaranteed double attacks. Yeah, I guess can maintain it. There's... yeah. Okay. Alright, Esteriola. This was a weird one. I actually have used Esteriola a lot, and this was weird. The way he used to work was he'd be asleep and he would be constantly auto-casting his skills. Then when his Forbidden Chalices got to 9, he'd wake up, and then he would attack normally. He would Ogi normally, he would, you know, you'd be able to click his skills, everything like that. I think then after he Ogi'd, he went back to sleep, and so you'd sort of be swapping between these two phases. After this update, they just put him to sleep permanently. He doesn't wake up at all. He gains a buff that allows his charge attack to be used. And I think he still Ogi's from that. But yeah, he now just is permanently asleep, permanently auto-casting, which is a weird little change. I mean, I guess he was asleep most of the time anyway, but it's just weird that they added this little thing where it's like he can't even auto-attack now. Yeah, okay, Axel, that's what I was thinking. It used to eventually drain to 100% after a while, yeah. So yeah, that's good that he can keep it up permanently. That's actually a similar change to what they did with Rosetta, which we'll get to eventually. But I guess they're like starting to pull away from the idea of stuff ramping up to permanent draining. Samakowa, do not have her. No, I know just how OP she got after this. I know SS has been running her a lot. Yeah, I can't go into detail about it because I'd never had her before or after the balance, but yeah, now she does a lot of double strike, damage cap. I know she pairs really well with Brand Naru, all this sort of stuff. So yeah, she was one of the better updates from this one, certainly. Light Clarice. Can't remember how this change affected her. I think it made her skills a little less clunky. But besides that, she's still mostly the same. All allies gain uplifted, gain instant charge on the skill that boosts her Ogi. Yeah, it's all sort of little changes. Percival. Now I have used him afterward. The main change with him. Number of activations, all allied allies gain data. Yeah, again, little changes with him. Essus says, I've never been happier than when Summer Core got her rebalance. Yeah. Lady Grey. She's got a long list of changes here, but I'm pretty sure her effect was also just minor stuff. Gains... Wait, no. Didn't she already have delay? Well, either way, she can delay twice. She gains Green Haze, a little supplemental damage thing. I've actually forgotten that she got that. But again, most of her stuff is somewhat minor. I mean, she's certainly not an OP character now or anything. But, okay. That is the rebalance for after the anniversary live stream. And then, roll up here. On the 16th, the final update of the Home Sweet Moon or Stay Moon event, we get Relic Buster. And then we get Isaac, Bia, and we got free Cassius. I haven't used Cassius that much, about to use him in the tournament. And I do actually have these other two characters. Bia is, I mean, the rebalance of her summer version was kind of in line with what her earth version was. Assassin skills, double strike, stuff like that. But I think she cuts her HP a lot. Even though like she's got that good burst potential, similar to her summer character, I just don't really use her much. I use a lot of like full autoing teams for farming stuff. Isaac is iffy. He's got good skill damage. He's got good damage overall. What was it? The fact that he caps all damage taken at 5,000 is the one character who has the most potential to be broken if we can just find some way to direct hostility to it. I mean, there are a few, but I'm talking like more options that have more uptime. But Isaac is just one of those characters to sort of look at. If ever we have a water character released who's really good at directing hostility to someone else, that's when we're gonna, look back at Isaac. But besides that, I guess we got Xeno Costas at the time, so we got that summon. And then we had Eustace's 5-star on his dark version for some reason. At the time, still, I'm kind of confused why they picked the dark version over his earth version. But, yeah, there it is. It was a pretty good 5-star. Besides his 4 skill, that's weird. But besides that, I mean, it was good that it at least had a choice for it. But, yeah, both of the choices were kind of iffy. Like, not very good. One was just, I think, damage. The other one was paralyzed, which doesn't always work. Ah, damn. Now I don't know what you were talking about, SS. Was that permanent slot and birth setups for Korwa? I can assume. Actually, yeah, permanent slot and hard content, that would be Korwa. Lady Ray got enough to make her be worth her slot in the beginner pool. Yeah, that's true, actually. I guess you have to look at it as her being a beginner character. One of the starters. And yeah, she's a very good starter. Dirt Beer's about as surprisingly difficult to kill compared to other versions in addition to skill spam. Super comfy pick for me. Yeah, she is a little... Yeah, she is more skill focused. Actually, her Earth SR was skill focused. But yeah, none of the other beers are skill focused, so it was a weird sort of change, but good. Last thing as well, we got the uncap for the Costa staff, which, yeah, good. I like these Xeno uncaps where they get a little bit of HP. That's, good for, like, a lot of times, like, setting up Lucy teams and whatnot, I'll be looking for just a little bit more HP, and it's difficult to find weapons that, still give a lot of attack as well as a little bit of HP. But these Xeno uncaps are perfect for that, a little bit of X attack as well as some more HP. Okay, let's move on then to the 22nd, which is when we got the Chevalier Malice raid, as well as the uncaps for our, what do you call them, primal summons. We also got the EMP skills for the Vokers, which are the domains. And it's funny, still to this day I've only finished one of those domains. They're a long grind just to get them up there. Some are pretty good though, so worth going for. Let me up another video presentation while it loads. As this is saying, that's just following the character's own story. His dirt version is long past and Dark is his recent version. I'm afraid they'll do something similar to Bia and give her dirt version the 5-star instead. You're not wrong. Yeah, although, I mean, it's not unheard of for them to sort of give 5 stars to previous versions. Actually, now that I say that, they gave a 5-star to, what's his name? Saranan? Or the Aruna guy who has the primal bound to his staff. They gave the 5-star to his light version, which was the... No, actually, sorry, the light version was the first one. Yeah, so they did follow it in that version. Where, yeah, his story from his dark version kind of came back to his light's 5-star. Please know her OG did way more for Bia, yeah. I know, I sparked a dark version, I'd love to be able to use her. Yeah, actually, Bia is a weird sort of situation where every new version's a little bit more OP than the last, where giving a 5-star to a dark would at least bring it back up to par, but yeah, it is sort of... it's a bit far behind to go for that. I don't know, it just sort of feels weird giving Eustace his... giving the 5-star to Eustace's dark version as opposed to his Earth one, where his dark version wasn't bad, and his Earth version could have used a little love. Not to mention, the whole... like, the 5-star was all about his, whatever the weapon's called. Like, there's actually a... not just the name of the weapon, but the name to sort of describe it. Moon weapons, or there's some... yeah, I can't remember. There's some story name from... but, like, his Earth version has that big rifle. His dark version was when he gave the rifle away and he just has a little pistol. And like his 5-star then focuses on unlocking his moon weapon. So that should have gone to the Earth version as opposed to the dark one. Yeah, so now he just has the rifle in both versions. Give her another year and we'll get a dark Bia 5-star that power creeps 650. Okay, maybe, but also nah. I mean, yeah, 6 is really overpowered. So, let's jump back over here. I don't know if there's much to say about the Primal 150s. They're good. They didn't change anything with the Ogi effects, did they? Oh no, actually, yeah, they did. They added a few extra little buffs and stuff like that. Like Varuna getting triple attack and I think Titan got armored. I can't remember if that was on the previous... No, yeah, that was on this one. But yeah, I don't know, they're fine. There's always a balance between the Magna grids and the Primal grids, who's, you know, stronger and stuff like that, and this unfortunately tipped that back in their scale. I wonder if next anniversary we'll get Magna 3 or another Magna uncap or something like that to push it back to balanced. Then we got the summer poses for Izmir, Summer Korwa, and Aya. Then moving on to the 29th of the 3rd, this is when we had this event. There. Suddenly, all these videos that I preloaded are going to rebuffer. Suddenly a surprise with... don't need my copy. Suddenly a surprise with, just after Stay Moon, we get a summer event for the Zodiacs. A lot of good art from this. And that's honestly the main focus that everyone probably loves this event for, the art. Because story-wise, it was a bit meandering and weird. It was just, you know, I mean, there are a lot of events that sort of get accused of being slice-of-life events. This was the sliciest of life events. Even by slice-of-life standards, it was kind of meandering. Oh yeah, actually, to go to Estes' point, might get a Farm Summon series to try and catch up to the dragons a bit. Yeah, that's right. I can't actually remember. We'll probably see it on the list, but when the dragon summons started coming in, and that boosted primal grids even more, we probably do need a Magna equivalent of that. So yeah, we'll probably get something like that next anniversary. Especially now that we've got the sub-summon slot that can fit them in. But this event, I don't know, yeah, it was just one of those things where the story was really paper thin. Like, I was just sort of talking about how Daymoon managed to add so much in such a long event, and then we get to this one and it's sort of like every chapter was just like a new... The plot was about them trying to get work done and constantly being distracted. There's only so much you can do with that story without it being stretched paper thin. I'll take cute Zodiac Slice of Life event over whatever the hell the show event was. Yeah. See, that's the thing, like, even though this event was meandering, it was still, you know, good for that reason. It was still a cute event. And that's really all you need with these sort of things. Like, you just want an event where your favourite character's just in it. And yeah, jump back over because you should be so then afterward we got, let me just scroll down from that, not spoil the next part. Then we got Summer Kambira and Summer Andira at the same time. Oh, don't black out on me. Yeah, that was a surprise to... I mean, we sort of could expect that Summer Zodiacs were coming after Anila. And then we got two on the same banner. I was very lucky that when I was sparking one, I managed to draw the other. And I'm now going to have to redo that same kind of luck with Fediel and Tiger. I was kind of hoping that Fediel would be on this banner and Tiger would be on the next. Because the problem with... I mean, having them on the same banner is nice, where you get the luck of trying to draw both, but I'm so worried that I'm going to fail to get one, because all these free draws right now, like we had 50 draws today, 20 yesterday, I think it started with 10 as well, but like all those draws could be a nice discount on Fediel, and if I fail to get her on the Lakefest banner, don't get any of those discounts, it's just another full spark. So, worried about that. And I think SS, didn't you have the same situation with this? Did you spark Andira or Kambira, and you failed to get the other one? You had to get her later or something. Imagine that was the intention. Stay Moon was pretty heavy, so I appreciate a slice of life when we got after. Yeah, good point. We went from one heavy event onto another one. Onto a lighter one. Jump over to this one now while I'm still talking. Summer Kambira made my whole year. Yeah. Actually, I still use Summer Kambira. Even in high level content, like people were worried about her third skill cutting her HP too much. She actually sustains pretty well, heals up, especially pairing her with Christmas Nemone. She can keep her HP up pretty easily. I don't have enough to get Fediel and Tiger. I'd really like to get both, but if it comes down to it, Dragon Mummy needs to come home. I don't know, I'm fully invested in the Zodiac collection now, so if it came down to it, I'd go for Tiger. Yeah, the wait was hell, but now everything's fine. Yeah, so you did have the same situation that I thought. But yeah, so then we get to April Fools and the sudden collab with Bobobo. It was a good little event. the Bobo character I haven't really used too much. Going to use him in the upcoming Light tournament. What is he? He's a whole bunch of... He's got like skill-based stuff and a whole bunch of debuffs and stuff like that. All allies gain shield and a random buff. I think, like... I don't think he was the first one. We had Demon Slayer before then, I think. But this sort of trend now where, you know, we used to get collab SRs, then we got collab SSRs, but they were sort of undervalued. Like, a good example of that is the Katana guy. He's a really crap SSR, but he got the SSR status. Now we're starting to get collab SSRs that are actually really good, and you know, like I think Demon Slayer started that, and Bobo, for being such a joke character, he doesn't have that bad of a kit. I don't think he's really usable in anything, but yeah. And then we got all these joke skins and stuff like that, and of course we got our 2 other normal April Fool's skins. On the 2nd, yep. Then we've got versus Societe's Uncap. So, why are you unmuted again? Let me pull up my notes really quickly. Double check what I may have missed. So on the 7th we had Water Guild Wars start, and then on the 9th we got Societe's 5-star. This was during the rest day of Guild Wars, and I can remember, I mean, it came in at like 8 PM at night. 8 PM at night my time, which is 7 PM JST. Then suddenly, it was just a rush to quickly Slime Blast Societe and get her all leveled up for, you know, the next day of Guild Wars, which is the tournament day for me. So, had to quickly level her up and get her all ready for that in those few limited hours. But her 5 stars, fine. Let me swap over. Let's see if I can pull up her page. So in the interim, while that's loading, Societe, it got it so damn good, it's crazy. Bobo Siegfried discounted Aglaval. That's right, yeah. Bobo is a discounted Aglaval. That's that was the surprising thing at the time. Like, everyone was going on about Aglaval, and then suddenly this character came out imitating his abilities and stuff like that. Yeah, so what Essa said, Societe got it really good. What was changed again? Allies mirror image. So she stacks Mist, as well as a normal dual Mist. Special attack lowered. What was the main one? All allies gain charge bar when foes special attack. Multi-attack against Fox Flame. Pretty much, Societe 5-star came at such a weird time outside of Guild Wars and enabled some really comfy full auto strats. Yeah, her 5-star made farming Warner so much better. Yep, that's the thing. So with my little video, I had her against Woolnas for that very reason. Just giving all allies mirror image for single target enemies, it just like completely gimps them. Societe is kind of like Lily, but Lily's more focused on giving everyone shield for, you know, AoE attacking enemies and stuff like that. Societe's just focused on the single target, and she's got delay and stuff like that. The best team is just Societe and Lily, but trying to pick between one or the other is tricky, because, yeah, they just both have their own little strengths. Free charge bar, mirror image, charge stack, and tons of healing, yeah. Actually, yeah, I think her healing's about equal to Lily, but she does give Revitalize and stuff as well. And of course, Echo. She's like a more offensive Lily, but still focused on healing. Pair her with Dog, and it's GG well played, yeah. Actually, yeah, with Dog should be able to stack that Mist a lot. But yeah, a really good 5-star, even though it's like really good in the defensive kind of category. Let's move on. Random outfits. Okay, so 19th of April, we get a Grandfest that adds Shion and Neza. Most people still agree that Neza's kind of eh. Shion has her own little benefit as just simply being a 200% charge bar character in Fire. 000 got added to the side stories, and then we have the Transcendence for the Zodiacs. And let me jump over. Yeah. So everyone goes up to 130. Uno gets cap incoming fire damage at 10k per hit, skill damage EMP. All allies gain fire switch on his skills 3 and chance to substitute the character for the lowest HP. Where's my list? Over. Go away, go away, go away. There. Twain gets dodge based on number of enemy debuffs, debuff success rate. Her third skill inflicts a supplemental debuff, sort of like Katara. Then she boosts double attack rate based on number of foes debuffs. Sarasa got a really good one with when under 25% HP, when in red HP, gains guaranteed triple attack and 30% echo. She got a whole bunch of HP nodes, which is good for ground zeroing and stuff like that. When low HP, her ground zero now gives her triple strike, which was a really needed change given that once you do ground zero once, you can't really get your HP back up that much, so the next ground zero is going to be doing half damage or less anyway. Then also at 130 she gains chance to end skill 2 cooldown after Ogi, which is 100%. That one's pretty nice because when she's in sword form, her skill 2 is a free attack, so really good damage uptime. Quattro also got skill 1 and skill 2 cooldowns. Cooldowns by 1 turn upon taking damage. Debuff success rate, gain random 2 buffs, and reduce damage taken from foes with forfeit. And we also got 5th added in. So straight from the start, she gets delay on Ogi, damage cap, reduced turn-based damage by 20%, debuff resistance. All allies gain spell cancel and party resistance to those specific debuffs. And lastly, 6. So 6's changes, like, they're all just simple little changes, but they really just march him towards being OP with what he does. Gain 2 Heavenly Howls on Ogi, damage cap, dodge base based on howls to try and keep them up. That is bad timing. Counter damage increase, skill 2 at 6 howls gives double strike, and boost stats, boost to stacks at the battle start, so you can start with 3. So far, all these things are just adding, a good deal of damage. He gets even more damage later on. But so, yeah, this is the midway point in our 6-star Transcendence, and all those characters are starting to get pretty good, but this is the point where they introduce blue merits. So our time gates finally added in, and we'll see more of that later. On the 22nd, you get... Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, we also just had, I mentioned that Societe came in the middle of Guild Wars, and... Gonna load? But yeah, so this was a water favoured Guild Wars, and this was the first of the new series, so we were up against Red Hair. What did he do again? Remember him having a whole bunch of damage. Try and get to the 50% mark. It's always interesting to look back at the... every Guild Wars comes along and they've got some 50% trigger that it just seems really unfair, and it's always interesting to go back and look at previous ones, because a lot of these were bad, but also, I feel like it is getting worse over time. This one was uplifted, defense, echo, and triple attack. Not as bad as some of the ones that chuck Veil up and mirror image and stuff like that, but yeah. Okay, so on the... what date was that? Sorry, the 22nd. We got Proud plus Gold Knight added. First one for the year, and I feel like there was a bit of a gap before this one coming out too. We also only got 2 this year, so limited, but I guess that's good because a lot of these fights are annoying where they're so focused on having the perfect sort of team lineup. If you don't have the exact team, you're gonna really struggle with it. I kind of wish they'd go back to... I mean, it could get too easy if they, you know, relax the standards too much, but it's always annoying when, you know, there's just a boss who's like, oh, only cancel this if you do, I don't know, 6 million skill damage, and there's one character who can do 6 million skill damage or something like that. Yeah, so these little things get annoying, but if you have the characters, I guess, alright. They're at least something you can sort of work on over time and try and get them. Hang on. What's this thing from SS? More damage, more damage, more damage, more damage, more damage. Hey, did we add more damage yet? Oh, yeah, you're talking about 6 and the 6 stars in general, I guess. Yeah. 6 goes even more unga bunga. Bad for a lot of people to be playable for the longest time, and then Star Games does. But Nezza, yeah. Yeah, Nezza's design feels really outdated where, you know, you had those characters back in the day like Vera and Amira, where they borrow from other elements. That sort of worked back in the day before elemental resistance came in, so Nezza's just a weird sort of one where he's fire and focused. Never tried Gilbert, but he doesn't look fun in the slightest. Yeah, it took me the longest time to do Gilbert Proud Plus, and I even had you know, both Twain and Fifth. I'm pretty sure both 5-star at that time. He's definitely gotten easier nowadays because he was made before we had a whole bunch of weapons like the Astrals and, you know, more HP weapons. But yeah, he's still annoying, and you still need... Well, actually, you needed Twain. I've heard that you can apparently do him with Christmas Mahira now, because she gives a lot of debuffs as well. That was for 6 of Transcendence. Yeah, I assume so. Chat might be delayed. No, it's not just chat being delayed, it's also me taking a while to look over there and catch up on stuff. No, I'm trying to remember where I was when those chats would have come in. So let's pop back now. And Gilbert's Proud Plus wasn't too bad. The hardest part is basically just getting past 30%. Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, the first part's not too bad if you get into the right rhythm. Although, I remember back in the day, that first 100% to 70% being... Oh, did you actually mean that as a, past 30? No, you'd mean the bottom part. I remember that first part being annoying because it was completely RNG whether he did his ice move or not. But I've only got an hour left, so I'm going to need to start speeding this up. So we had Proving Grounds with that dark weapon that's skill damage based. We'll see if that gets any use in the upcoming Guild Wars, I guess. Moving on then, we've got... what was this? Oh, this was Albert's event. Story-wise, the event was honestly kind of crap. Like I don't know. I'm probably being a bit harsh on it, but it was also just one of those events where nothing really happened, and it kind of went backwards on the story that had been set up, where, you know, like, Urius had kind of been cured, and then suddenly it was, oh, let's go back to him being taken over again, just for the, you know, the sake of creating a story. But it did add Urius's 5-star, which is really good for high-level content. Actually, it's interesting that we got Urius's 5-star and we got Athena's 5-star. It seemed for a while that they were aiming to do all the 5-stars based on high-level characters. I feel like they've stopped that since. I can't think of any others. Maybe as we go through them I'll pick up on that again, but yeah, for a while there, it was focused on that, and then they just seemed to stop. I don't think there's much else to say about Furious's event. Actually no, it gave a 5-star, so it wouldn't have given an SSR ticket, so all around a meh sort of event. Ending was neat. See, I can't even remember what the ending was. All I can remember is, yeah, just Urius kind of going off on his to live by himself or something, and I think that was during the event, not necessarily at the end. That's right, yeah, the end was Albert and him talking in the hospital room, because they redid that on the Granblue Fest. But let's quickly jump on to the next part, which is the Lakefest. Oh yeah, cool, we get Dark Albert, you know, oh nice, he added the Sunderstruck mechanic, which I think still only 2 characters have or something. And just in general, he's sort of kind of just there, you know, does delay and whatnot. But oh, look at this little character over here, who's one of the most OP characters ever released. When they did the summer lotto, I think a lot of people picked her up as their freebie. What's not to love about Naru, where she has, what is it? 100% echo on top of, oh yeah, superior element. 100% echo, 100% crit, an assassin skill, she has keen for a little bit more cap up, 20% amplify. For wind allies on crits, gain 3% damage cap and 10% bonus wind effect. Oh cool, she has 110% echo. Very nice. She gives herself double strike, she has unworldly echoes. Yeah, just in general, as an offensive character, you can't do much better than this. And even that piercing sight giving superior elemental damage, even that was OP in Proving Grounds, where we had a series of 2 bosses. Oh wait, was it Proving Grounds or was it Tower of Babel? Might have been Tower of Babel. We had 2 bosses, and one was Earth, and the follow-up one was some other element, and suddenly Naru can just assassin kill the second one, and you don't even have to worry about the 2 elemental thing. Yeah, she's OP, and of course I sparked her just immediately after she came out, so I was on top of it. I was lucky that I just happened to have a spark sitting around at the time, because none of us knew that she was going to be coming. Oh boy, this was interesting about it. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about and that was the banner that added Willness as a summon, so Primal Fire got even more OP at the time. Naru wasn't in that element, but yeah, that was the start of it. So yeah, this is where the dragon summons start, and Primal grids start getting a little bit stronger. Summon Lotto, it was either for Belial or her, yeah, both solid choices. Someone else sparked Naru, yeah, I picked her from the Summer Lotto, yeah. I have her, but I still have no idea how to actually use her. Here's how you actually use her. You put her on a team and you hit full auto, and she hits her skills in the correct order no matter what. Just keep her attacking. Like, even if you're struggling to get her to Ogi, her auto attacks are probably stronger than her Ogi or something. I mean, like I said, it's if you have a 100% crit, and like look at this grid here where you've just got, you can go either 3 harps or 2 harps and a spoon. And with double Tiamat, that's 100% crit. 110% echo. You know, you're more than doubling her damage. You will be fine. Albert is fun for dark skill spam with Lucius, etc. Why are we talking about Albert? Grand Naru's out. My boy, Dark Albert, left out to dry again. Sorry, he's left out to dry doubly because Grand Naru's here. Fair and balanced. Ah, yes, that's with the correct take. It was the right choice since I got Belial with my win proving ground trinket. Naru's, of course, rightly gets the spotlight. Yeah. When they started adding Jeanne d'Arc and Cagliostro and stuff like that to the grand characters, I think some people expected they might add Naru because she's popular, but honestly, who expected to get a Grand Naru? She's not really related to the story or anything like that. I think Naru is a prime waifu, but this is pretty gross in the power creep department, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, like, her previous versions were like 80% echo. They could have just gone 100% echo, but they went 110%. Speaking of dragons, we should be en route for the Fedial summon before Guild Wars. True, actually. Yeah. Do you think Cygames fucked up and was releasing her with how she breaks off element fight? Sorry, did they fuck up with releasing her with how she breaks it? I don't think so, because she's OP, but it's only her. If she gave the whole team superior element echo, then that might mess with it. Elemental resistance still is a thing. Like in Tower of Babel, they didn't have elemental resistance. In these type of fights, they don't have it. People still aren't running Naru in off-element guild wars or anything like that, so she's fine in that regard. As a female draft struggling for attention, yep. Still no Razia alternate character, still no alternate SSR Carmelina. We still need 5-star Carmelina, because she's one of the few, what do you call them, starter characters who don't have a 5-star. Still need an alternate version of Forte. And the only fest pre-guild wars are going to be this Lakefest in January. Lakefest, yep. Fitting song. Oh yeah, it's Nori's song going on right now. John gets visions from Bahamut, and Karg was the major player in the Archangels event. Yeah, actually you're right. I guess they have sort of, like if they're related to the anniversary events, they're kind of main characters. How long until we get Grant Arula Maya, since she predicted the first What Makes the Sky Blue event? Renar and Poseidon stick out like sore thumbs. I still don't have Poseidon, so you're right that he is one of the stronger ones, but I'll have to have a look at him when we get up to him. I mean, they don't really have much to add with main story quests at this point. I only started without a 5-star. Oh, the only one, yeah. You're right, yeah, they have added them for the others. Back to here. Alright. But yeah, so very good Lakefest. Not even halfway through the year, I better speed up. Xeno Diablo with the katana upgrade. Talked about Xeno uncaps before, which are pretty nice. A gold brick was added to the treasure trade shop. And then we pretty much jumped straight to Grandfest. So now we have Tico and Tro. I don't think I'll stay too long on these characters, just because they're sort of there, you know, they're, I don't know, they're fine. None of them are particularly overpowered. They sort of data back after releasing Naru, but yeah, they're fine. Tro can copy characters' skills. Tico's just a good healer. At the time, I remember it was sort of a surprise that there were suddenly 2 characters based on the weapons, the moon weapons. We'd had Kolalu beforehand, but that seemed like a special case just because it was Gizla. At this time, did anyone expect we'd get like a whole event based around them and, you know, more and more characters coming as time goes on? So yeah, so then we have Eugen's 5-star. I don't think I've touched... Tico's really good. I should give her time of day to have a look. So Eugen, I don't think I've used him since his 5-star. The thing is, like, what he gets is sort of... It's only little things, like, here's some stackable earth defense down, here's some crit, personal keen is nice, but team keen's better. The counter and dodge got upgraded. Charge effect reactivation, sure. Blue sky bullet. What do the bullets do? Normal attack skill 150. Okay, a little bit of skill damage after every attack. I mean, Rosetta's 5-star was kind of but I mean this one's kind of too. I mean, I guess his main focus was this auto ignition skill where he could just keep ogieing again and again. Upgrading this sort of does what he does, and hey, he's got a little bit extra on his Ogi to go with that. But yeah. They were cool in Marionette stars, but in battle they're just kind of passable. I've been hoping since Cagliostro had... Oh yeah, well you were way ahead of the game, Essus. Ignoring the obvious story reference in future events, it's nice to have normalish characters that don't break the meta hard. Yeah, that's the thing, like after Nara it was nice to just have some basic characters. They do more with the Moon Weapons crew. Oh, they definitely will. I'd actually wager that after this next anniversary event, like the 2023 anniversary event will probably be a Moon Weapon one. Most people did since Ferdinand showed up and Tico faded. Oh yeah, but that was like after this. I mean, fair enough to sort of start thinking it after this, but I was sort of like... Actually, I think I did actually say it at the time, so yeah, sure, fair enough. Eugen is just a good upgrade, just made him go... Yeah. I felt like a year too late for it to be good. Yeah. Tico. Special buff that boosts attack and defense. Damage is lower, switch to cam mode. All light allies gain Valentine. That's pretty... But I mean, yeah, like, she's good, but she's also just a healer. Oh, that's right, I keep forgetting she has this. Blue Potion as a sub-ally. I should actually use that a little bit. Like, I could probably put her on the backline in Lucy runs or something like that. But yeah. Okay, so then getting to what I think it was SS or someone brought up before. Here's the show event. Random skin for oh, what's his name? It'll take a while to load. Tsubasa, that's it. Yeah, so this event, first half I actually kind of liked. The whole prison escape type thing was actually pretty good. I mean, kind of hard to screw up a prison escape plotline, you know, it was just fun and whatnot. Second half was awful. Awful. Once he gets out of prison and goes back to like pick up his gang and fight against that other guy, it just evolved into mush. It was, I don't know, just paint by numbers and everything was just kind of following along, and even for a plot of going, like, it should have been a revenge plot, and it wasn't that. It was just kind of he went and found the guy and like started a fight with him, and then Tsubasa shows up, and yeah, nothing about the second half of it impressed me. Like, the first half was solid, second half, crap. This was the first event I completely skipped after the 4 nights bistro. Yeah. Yeah, alright, so which is worse, this event or the bistro? I'd say the bistro is probably worse, just because this one at least had a good first half. The bistro was nothing the whole way through. The moment they mentioned Greya and Anne were gone to study abroad, so was my interest. Yeah, actually that's a good point. Why didn't they just include the whole Mysteria cast in it? That would have at least made the second half more interesting. But yeah, I don't know. So like, you had... The first one was the Mysteria Academy, which was good. That was Greya and Anne and, you know, good characters and stuff like that. Then you had the follow-up, which was Tsubasa's one. And even that one was kind of iffy. You know, like, the whole motorbike gang thing was kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, it's there. It's not really that interesting. Now they've gone a layer down where it's the villain from the motorbike event. And he just doesn't really have enough story to cover his own, you know, event. But yeah, then we have the Lakefest where we get Miss Miranda and Sho. I think most people keep forgetting that Miss Miranda exists. I certainly do. You like the bistro, it was a filler arc. Yeah, I guess so. It at least had some good recipes, and like, you know, always nice to look at good food, but yeah. Yeah, so back to these characters, I always forget that Miss Miranda exists, and shows. I remember that he exists because of his event, but yeah, he's kind of disappointing anyway. But that's about all to say there. Jump up here. 16th of June. Now we get the Belial event. Sorry, not event. Belial's release. When did I do this? 17th of June. I completed the solo quest. I still to this day have not touched the actual raid. I've had a few people asking to do a tutorial video for it, like I did with Lucy High Level and to a degree Beelzebub. I have been intending to. I've been meaning to do it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I need to farm the the raid a little bit before actually jumping into it, and I just haven't gotten around to actually doing it. And it always feels like, the event. I'm calling it an event. I keep on thinking that the raid came out just a couple of months ago or something like that. I mean, it's half a year ago now. I just still haven't touched it. Part of the fact is that there's no real incentive to do it. The chains you get for the opuses are... all of them are probably worse than stamina, except for one, which even then is kind of gimmicky. I think it's the Echo one that worth looking at. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one... well, actually, sorry, they have added the requirement where you need these chains for the 6 stars, so I'm going to have to do it eventually, but yeah, until the 6 stars came along, there wasn't really much incentive to do it. And I think the same thing's going to be the case for Super Bahamut, where I'm probably not going to touch that for months and months until there's a real reason to. Although the Ultima uncaps are definitely more interesting than these chains. Beat it once so far with Summer Core and the High School Skin Bug. Oh yeah, thank you for saying that. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, when was it when the raid? What triggered it? I can't remember what update actually did it, but there was a brief moment where if you put the SR skin, Core's High School skin on her summer version, or was it any of her versions? But it would cause some bug where she would just instantly nuke the raid. It was applied death or something like that. Yeah, that bug lasted for not even really a day, just a couple of hours. But that was interesting at the time. We had a bug similar to that previously with... this was years and years ago, maybe 2018 or 2019. Probably 2018 actually. Maybe even 2017. There was this weird bug where Bahamut High Level, the basic one that drops the blue horns, and this was back then one of the higher raids, probably the highest actually. There was this weird bug where he always has resistance to the death debuff, but for some reason that resistance got turned off, and so there was a whole wave of people running Octo against him because he could apply death. I think Twain could also apply it, but back then it was a really rare random chance to apply it. Nowadays I think it's actually one of the guaranteed things, but everyone's immune to it anyway. But yeah, so there was this weird bug where people were killing Belial with Core using her SR skin. Raid's not super engaging, plus as you mentioned the chains are more niche, yeah. Me and my crew have been trying to learn up on him, but unfortunately it seems like the consensus is do DPS ignore mechanics and let him Ogi with full charge bars at 50%. Unfortunately, I hate seeing all the raids sort of degenerate down to that. Recently with Sato, I was trying to join a Lucy pub to try and show her off and stuff like that. And so many people are just now saying, oh, we only want people playing Luchador. Now the new thing is, rather than playing the raid normally, people are playing it with just... everyone come in with Dark Luchador and let's just burst him down in one turn. And it's sort of okay, yeah, if you can do that, that's cool, but it also... since you need a very specific setup for it, it kind of sucks that so many of the raids are now being locked off to that, and you can't play it with whatever team you want. Especially since if you have to do Dark Luchador, you're not getting your other element clears with it. One chain you really want is the Freya one. It's basically required for one turn kills and stuff. Yeah, Freya key is good, but unless you really much of a pain to keep switching back and forth with stamina key. That's the thing. Yeah, it costs Lucy tears, and I'm assuming more chains to keep swapping back and forth. And that's why the stamina one's good, because it's just good in all elements. Having a thing on your opus that's very niche is kind of eh. Was any character with a 0 damage charge attack. They dealt infinite damage if they were wearing a skin. Okay, cool. Yeah, see, I didn't really look into it because I'm a good player who doesn't cheat. But yeah. Let's jump back over. So, after this, we're looking at the Granfest, which introduced Earth Lena, who, I think I've heard some good things about her, but again, she's just one of those sort of neutral characters. And much like Dark Albert, she comes paired with Nihon, who sort of, again, is kind of OP. Lena was really basic, yeah. Just heals, debuffs, sense down, charge bar. Yeah, nothing too fancy, just does what she does. But then you have Nihon over here, who gives all light allies 100% triple attack, gives all light allies attack and echo and supplemental damage, and gives all light allies double strike. Nihon kind of blew Light Fairy out of the water, and in fact, over the Granblue Fest live stream, we were talking about this. What were we talking about? I can't remember if we were talking about, oh, that's right, yeah, it was, oh, yeah, that doesn't really matter. We were talking about who would get their 5-star next, and we were speculating it would be Grand Fairy for Dark Guild Wars, but that's unrelated to Light Fairy. Pretty much, Light Fairy is going to need a bit of a balance update now, given that Nihon does her sort of stuff better. I mean, just these first two ones kind of does what Fairy needs 100% charge bar to do. And then on top of that, you also have double strike. So, yeah, he's doubly as strong as Fairy. However, with this HP cut, he's good for burst, but he's not really good for longer fights. So, I remember with the Summer Lotto, people were saying, oh, if you've got Naru and Belial, just grab Nihon. I don't know if it would be necessarily worth using a ticket for him, or maybe a spark if you are going for other stuff. It's sort of like he's OP, but he's kind of OP in a very niche way. You can get really good burst damage from this, but it's just one turn of burst. So if you've got a specific setup where you really want to burst, sure, go for him, but I don't think he's he's not. Naru's the type of spark target that you'd go for because she's good in all content. Nihon's more niche. All I'm trying to say is he's very good, but don't think he's the best character ever. Still good though. When they killed Polaris, people went for the it raises the stakes and makes it for good storytelling excuse. Wait, hang on, I've got to go back up. Interesting banner, meta breaking. Wow, it's bad. I'm still mad about Nihon's release. Oh, sorry, you're talking about the Polaris stuff in relation to Nihon's release. Oh, that's right, yeah, Light Fairy is on the rebalance, isn't she? Oh yeah, when are we getting the Dark rebalance? Is it today or tomorrow or something? It's soon. Oh wait, sorry, no, we've already gotten it, yeah. And I even on my last live stream, I talked about the rebalance. Anyway, so after that, we have Asina's 5-star. A very good 5-star. I mean, she was already a good character, so there wasn't much she needed to do. Good that the wiki's starting to work properly now. She gains Dispel Cancel, which is, good. She also gains... This one takes 10 turns to get ready, but Unchallenged and Veil. really great. Inflicts some attack down on Ogi. Pretty much what she did before, she now just does better. And like, she already did really good before. The Unchallenged allows her to do Paradise Lost with the team of Athena, Zeta, and I think it's Anila. Yeah, it's Anila. With that team in Lucy, you can do 30 hit, you can do debuff, you can do plane damage, and now with Athena's upgrade, as long as like you're in a slow moving group team, you can do Paradise Lost with her too. So yeah, nice little change. Alright, so then on the 29th we get the 6 stars for Siete and Octo. I'll save going over those things until we get to the end and get like the 150s. But I remember this one, they said at the start of the month, oh, this month we're going to do these guys 6 stars. And then the days went on and on and on, and suddenly it's the end of the month and we're thinking, where are these 6 stars? And they come in at pretty much the second last day of the month. Pushed it right back as far as it would go. Then, on the 30th, we get... it was on the 29th, we got the sauna event, and this brought in, with the Lakefest, Yukata Izmir and Yukata Ingwe. We also got the Galleon summon too. Yeah, I'll get to Theate's changes when we get to the 150s. Let's talk about the event, the sauna event. I mean, if the Zodiacs was kind of a slice of life kind of iffy event, then this one was even more slice of lifey, where it was just, I think they said on the Granblue Fest that it was either KMR or FKHR who just had started going to saunas and like really got into it, and they created this event solely based on that. But yeah, so I don't know, there were some good moments to it and then some meh moments, so I don't know, it's hard to really give too much assessment to it. I don't know, it was just an event that was kind of there. Yeah, I think that's all I really got to say about it. It's hard to really hate on the summer events too much, because they sort of bring, new characters and stuff like that. They're also just really chill events. Yeah, I think that's kind of my assessment too. It was okay in the end. I expected worse, but it had some funny moments. Yeah, that's the thing, like summer events tend to have little funny moments that sort of make up for them a little. And then, yeah, Yukata Izmir is pretty nice. I won't go too much into her just because I'm running out of time, but yeah. And I don't have Ingwe, so I can't opine on him too much. Okay, so then on the 8th of July, we've got a whole bunch of gacha weapon uncaps, which not as much of an improvement as previous, but yeah, I don't think any of these were really OP. They just, kind of added a few little uncaps here and there. And then we got a whole bunch of EMP supports for these guys. Oh, and the highlight was definitely Danua's EMP, which completely changed how she worked, where she used to kill herself slowly with her double strike move. Now she heals herself with it, and just a complete flip around, and she's now OP in Fedial raids. Lunalu's pen's pretty good. Let's have a look at it. Big attack, medium crit, supplement Dark Allies crits. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like, the new sort of OP thing is this supplemental damage on weapons, so any weapon that gets that's going to be in a good spot. So now, after the Yukata characters, we're properly in summer. We got Summer Siegfried and Summer Ilnot. Siegfried, I think, was kind of glossed over a little bit. Ilnot, on the other hand, I believe, yeah, all allies gain triple attack and Echo, but she's sort of like Berry and them, but yeah, it can give a whole bunch, give allies a good little burst and stuff like that. The rest of the song, pose, stuff, delay. I can remember when she came out, a bunch of people were really excited for her and wanted to spark her and everything like that. Oh, that's right, yeah, she gave everyone a big charge bar boost just by being in the party. I mean, she's alright. This skill is pretty much always... It's always a solid skill. I personally find the whole consuming charge bar and gaining shorten to be annoying, but I understand that a really strong skill. I just hate using it on Berry, and it's a little better on what's his name? Alanon, but yeah. The reason I don't really like it on Ferry is because it's just it's all she has. It's the only skill she has. Yeah, Dirt Alanon, pretty much, yeah. I don't know. She's alright. Then we got the Yggdrasil 5-star. Again, this is another 5-star that I haven't really used since she came out, but at the time I did use her a little bit, especially during Guild Wars. Because, where is it? Yeah, this ability. She gains like hostility up, and whenever she takes damage, she deals 4 hits of damage and gains a 1-turn skill cooldown cut. But that requires 3 crests. So yeah, she has a little bit of setup, but once you get that going, you can pretty much keep that up permanently, because it just constantly keeps cutting the cooldown of this. So yeah, once that's up, she actually has some really good counter damage. But, I mean, besides that, she's still kind of... I mean, she's got a special buff and stuff like that. She's just a solid buffer now. But the problem is, Earth's starting to get into the realm of having a lot of really strong attackers and stuff like that, like, obviously Christmas Naru and Octo and whatnot. So it's difficult for her to find her place. That's the only downside. But yeah, so I was using her during Guild Wars just because she could, you know, constantly keep dishing out the damage on it. Speaking of Guild Wars, where was it? Yeah, on the 21st we had Earth Guild Wars. And when did she come out? Oh no, she came out just before Guild Wars, so yeah. At least we didn't have to do the Societe thing of trying to level her up during the middle of it. Then on the 25th, we got... And can you guys hear that? Sorry, there's like a mower going, like a council mower going by outside. I'll push through, hopefully it's not too loud. So, on the 25th, we finally got Katara's first skin, which finally removed that helmet, which I was so happy about. Didn't buy the skin though, because I was hoping that her end of year skin would add something good, and it turns out that it did. To be fair, I don't buy too many of the skins. Yeah, a really good skin. Like, I mean, you compare it to the previous Zodiac skins, and some of them are nice, and you know, stuff like that. This one was just beyond it. Then, oh, so yeah, sorry, you can hear the mower. Sorry about that. It's gone away a bit now, but it was just kind of going past. Then on the 29th, we have, this was the August of the Dead event. Okay, so like I said before, summer events kind of get a good pass where they're always, you know, somewhat good no matter what. Let me just find it. There it is. Yeah, it's hard to do a summer event bad. They've always got a little bit of comedy to it. They're just, you know, fun and comfy and stuff like that. However, this one kind of left me a little unsatisfied. So this was a sequel to Meg's event. Meg's event was really good, and it showed off a lot of Meg's character. This event just didn't really have much of Meg in it. Well, like, she was there, but I mean, her character wasn't really in it. There wasn't as much focus on her. Now that's somewhat expected because, like, her story arc had sort of progressed to this point where she's now like a badass, so it's hard to sort of bring in the comedy of her previous event back to this one. But I don't know, it's just like it felt like it focused on the other characters a little bit too much compared to her, and you know, I didn't really feel like I was getting a Meg event. On top of that, the zombie stuff was also kind of weird. Like, it started off with everyone kind of in a shopping mall, and it's like, okay, cool, we're going to do, like, before Meg's event, we had the Shark event, which was, you know, a spoof on Sharknado and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to have an event that focuses on a spoof of Dawn of the Dead. And then they spent maybe one chapter at the shopping mall and then ran away from there, and suddenly it's a whole different event of them kind of moving between place to place and stuff like that. Sort of what I'm getting at is I wasn't sure where the event was going throughout the whole thing of it, and then it didn't really go anywhere all that impressive. I don't know, it was a fun event, but I came away from it sort of like thinking, oh, that could have been better. I don't know if anyone else has the same opinion of it, but yeah. Let's move on though, while you're writing that. Her girlfriend got more screen time. Yeah, that was a good part at least. And yeah, we got this Mimlamel skin, which, I don't know, it's fine, I guess. But that event brought along Poseidon, Summer Matera, and Summer Meg. Summer Meg is fine, just a SSR version of her SR. Amplified, keen, assassin skills, sure. Matera has her usual sort of stuff of getting echo from her seals, delay. She had some mist and stuff like that, so yeah, she's kind of fine. Sorry, the mail's back. Yeah, it was a good event and fun, but it didn't feel like Meg's. Yeah, that was the main sort of thing. Like, there was a lot of hype leading up to it of knowing that, hey, cool, we're getting another Meg event. And then it was just kind of a different event. So this is a big thing of this Lakefest, where we get Poseidon. He gets some more Thunderstruck. I can't think of too many other characters who have this skill besides him and Albert. And even then, it doesn't really do much. Still, just wait until we get some summon that works off it, I guess. So, he adds, what's this? Permanent Mist, which is nice. There goes that Mo again. Actually, I can't wait for it to go past. So he gains some buffs, stuff like that. This is the main sort of one, which is absorbing stuff. I'll be honest, I haven't really looked at his kit since he came out. I know he's pretty OP. Oh yeah, Arthur has Thunderstruck, you're right. Yeah, when he came out, I heard that he was pretty OP, but honestly, looking at this stuff, I'm not really seeing the OP part. Oh, sorry. Rule of the Sea specs are boosted based on level. Okay. Where is that? Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, that's these specs, yeah. I guess he can do a whole bunch of damage with that, but yeah. The weird thing is that just I see him on so many teams now for strong comps. Wait, thanks, Sony. Yeah, I see him on so many teams, but I don't know, like, he looks kind of average here. Like, Grand Naru is definitely the Grand of the Year to really make a change. Okay, so let's skip along. So then, on the... Sorry, what day was that? That was the 6th of August. We finally got some new main story after almost a year, pretty much, of waiting for it. It was a good chapter. It, added a lot. It added Alba, which I'm still waiting for the grand version of. And it added a new raid. This one. This raid came with a good Earth Garrison weapon, so neat on that. Of all the Malice raids and story raids and stuff like that, this is definitely the hardest. When I was trying to farm the Fist, I found that my full auto team could only last a couple of turns before eventually just dying out to it. Especially because its debuff constantly makes you miss your attacks, so essentially it was always hard to try and set my team up to try and get enough score in before I called backup. But yeah, it was a difficult solo as well. But that is that. Now, that's right. We got the skin as well with main story. Oh, and Blukey Duper has some information about Poseidon. It's mainly because of his skill 3 being like Fire Sieg. Skill 1 perma debuff, skill 2 is good stackable and gives 100% bar to the team. That's right, the 100% bar to the team's main sort of one. Oh yeah, and the Valentine Grimnir passive. Yeah, of course, for that. Yeah, I didn't even I saw it on there, but I didn't even stop to consider it. But yeah, the where was it? Deal 3 hit damage to random foes. Yeah, and guaranteed triple attacks. I was always just under the impression that he was a really good buffer, and that's sort of what I was looking for. But yeah, just his own basic attacks sort of make up for it. So now on the 7th of August, we get Summer Zahalmina and Summer Tabina. I'm waiting for Guild Wars. I am waiting for Guild Wars to see what Tabina can do, because I remember when she came out, everyone was looking at all this skill damage, and combo her with this dark bow from the Animus thing, which boosts skill damage. It was looking like she's going to be able to pull off some bullshit come Guild Wars. So we'll have to see next month how she goes. But yeah, she's a pretty solid choice. We also got the Evoker skins, and remember... do you remember the thing that happened when... what's his name? Lobelia's skin came out? It felt like a whole bunch of people who'd never played his Fate episode suddenly encountered him for the first time, and were really shocked to hear the voice lines attached to it where he's torturing people, which is what his Fate episodes are all about, pretty much. But yeah, so that was a fun little reminder of how, still not everyone has all the evokers, and I'm pretty sure I got him as my last character. I imagine a lot of people are doing the same, unless they've looked at how strong he is for soloing Beelzebub and stuff like that. So, yeah, a bunch of people probably have never touched him at all and suddenly encountered him for the first time. I think, I don't think people were encountering it by buying it. It was people who'd bought it, posting the characters, lines and stuff on Twitter and whatnot, and I think people were encountering it through there. But that was a fun little moment where everyone's suddenly encountering him for the first time. Okay, so we got some new poses for Summer Dancer, Yukata Siegfried. He's now got 2 Summer versions, and Chloe. Then to round out Summer, and I think this was after the Summer live stream, we had 2 characters. Let's start with Shiva, who no one was really interested in. He does give Veil, at least. But, yeah, none of his abilities are really that great. Because everyone was focused on Summer Shalom. And Summer Shalom is pretty great. whole bunch of good debuffs. What's subjugated again? Can't attack. She does inflict summonless because she's sort of based off the Beelzebub raid. But yeah, the main thing is just this ability here. Which, it's funny, when I recently did that Lucilius train, I'd completely forgotten that this works the exact same as Urius. So yeah, a great character just for adding another Urius to a different element so we can, you know, do... Well, it's not just Lucy, actually. People run those type of debuff setups in Beelzebub and other high-level raids. But yeah, she's great just for that skill, let alone all her other stuff, because she boosts to charge attack cap based on debuffs, activates twice if there's 10 or more debuffs, all this sort of stuff. You know, a Light Lord that uses Shiva a lot in Super... Is that Super Bahamut? Apparently does really good numbers too. Interesting. I never would have expected him to be in Super Bahamut. Shiva has a great nuke. Okay, fair enough. Shiva's first passive is nice, but otherwise he's just good in full auto. Okay. Okay, so 20th of August we get uncapped for the Xeno Katana. Oops, sorry, it's up here. And then we get the Transcendence for the rest of the Eternals. Also some updates to the uncaps for the Moon weapons and Angel Halo Pro. Let's just quickly pull up these ones. So yeah, last little bit of this. Uno gets counter and amplify auto attacks. Song gets what I think is still one of the best 150 upgrades. Upon dodging, does delay. Saratha gets, when below 25% HP, debuff immunity, cap water damage taken. Quacha gets 4 hit water damage to all foes when damaged. If when light character HP is below 25%, activate skill 1 at end of turn. 6 upon dodging, 6 hit dark damage. Now this is where 6 starts to get ahead in the damage. He gets all this dodge already, and then he can do extra damage, and then that damage can be supplemented. Siete... yeah. Hang on, give me 1 second. I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick. Then I'll come back and finish talking about these. Alright, sorry. I was just busting to go there. Okay, so, and the moment I got to see it, I realised just how much I had to talk about. So we skipped over see it beforehand. So, on Ogi he has 50% damage cap. He then goes into the full chain sort of stuff. So, amplifying full chain damage and extending its duration. This one's still kind of a meh sort of thing, like, little extra damage, sure, but even like the rest of your stuff can kind of be salvaged with the way Super Bahamut kind of works now. But even this one's still kind of meh. But then his the damage cap of his second skill is a lot better. Is that to transfer over? Oh no. Second skill, the damage of his second skill is a lot better. That's nice. Resist debuffs by consuming a sword shine. Sure, that's fine. Then his... Okay, so at 150, wind allies Ogi damage cap up. That's nice. Full chain can now cancel any omen. This was the biggest, like, meme where everyone's sort of looking at that saying, oh yeah, it's not really great, stuff like that. Now with Super Ultimate Bahamut, at the time that I made this video, I said if something comes out where suddenly cancelling becomes a big thing, his value may go up. I think we kind of got that with Bahamut now, because a lot of those cancel omens are difficult and weird, and especially you get like 4 random ones, and they're a whole range of stuff. Like one is debuffs, one skill damage, one is don't change over. One is Ogi damage, which See It probably could do anyway. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different cancelling things. Having See It there with the ability to cancel one that you're not really good at cancelling, like say you've got a skill damage and Ogi focused team, you can use his full chain to then cancel the debuff omen. He's a little better because of that, but it's still a weird thing where, you know, all the other characters have all these great upgrades, and he's only really niche. He's only got a niche use in Battle V2 stuff. Yeah, the hit 60 times one, that's a rule one. So yeah, you can cancel stuff like that. So yeah, he has a bit more use there now. He's got a little bit more value because of Super Ultimate Bahamut. He's only going to get more valuable too if we keep getting relatively challenging V2 content. Yeah, we all laughed when Super Bahamut came. Yeah, and there's a Stay Moon machine coming in the anniversary. That's true. Yeah, that's a V2 battle as well. Okay, so Octo. All allies gain 20% water cut on Ogi. I really like this. That, like, of all the characters to get just to the 6-star level to get the Ogi buff, that's a really good one, especially in Lucy, where you're running the Xenosaur in the main hand. Octo's going to keep Ogiing all the time unless you're, you know, saving up for Overchain. You're pretty much going to have permanent 90% cut after that. Yeah, a really good thing. Boost Chain Burst specs, yeah, it's fine. Chain Burst damage is never really a big thing, but it is there. Add a special Ogi cap to the first skill. My Octo level 130 or 120? I think he's 120. So yeah, I don't have that. His first skill is already really great for Ogi cap. Chance to reduce all skill cooldown after Ogi. Okay. Yeah, again, like I don't have a 130 Octo, so I haven't tried that out. But I mean, the only real skill that he has is just the delay, I guess. But I guess that can keep you Ogiing more often. Yeah, and then, sorry, this isn't supposed to be a review of the 6 stars, I've already done that. All allies gain debuff resistance and dispel cancel after a chain burst. Nice to have some dispel cancel. Neo inflicts double attack and triple attack down on Ogi. So wind allies get permanent buffs. That's a nice little one. Then the skill 3 adds Keen and Amplified, and her first skill does Mist. I was using her during Guild Wars for full autoing the 150, and I had her at 150. These little abilities were great for that. Yeah, especially just to have an extra little bit of Mist after the boss got rid of their debuffs at 50%. And then at 150, damage cap up, and buffs can't be removed, and amplified auto attacks, stuff like that. She's honestly gotten a lot better, not just because of these buffs, but also because of Grand Naru. She pairs really well with her being able to boost Naru's basic attacks, whereas Siete is more focused on Ogis. And the last one, Essa. She's got a really interesting change, but I would have liked to have seen her her 4th skill work a little better in full auto, because it's just not quite lined up with her 3rd skill. But so on Ogi, she has a cooldown of skill 1, cool. Bounty cap can now go up to 10, cool. Skill 1, now's a 10 hit, doesn't actually change the damage. They nerfed the damage to make it in line with that 10 hit. But it does provide permanent debuffs, which is neat for long fights. Especially when you get things like the attack down or the Ogi damage down. Those are good. All allies have a chance not to consume Assassin mod with skill damage. That's good for herself, just being able to spam out her abilities in full auto. And then with Bounty 10, she gets amplified attacks. So yeah, nice little changes. So with this update, the main change was that, well, not so much a change, but we already had to do 1 blue merit for the 130, now we have to do 2 blue merits to get them to 150. And on top of that, a whole bunch of high-level farming to get to 140. Oh, no, sorry, it is still to 150. 140 is just Honglong and Irin stuff, mostly. But, so I had to head to the train station to pick someone up at 9 o'clock. Fortunately, I've got more to go, but I think I will be able to come back. It'll only take maybe 10 minutes just to go to the train station. So I think what I'll do is I'll stop the stream here and I'll restart another one for when I come back, and we should be able to really quickly race through the rest of this stuff and get that finished. Ooh, we're close to Lich. But so, I'm just going to end the stream here and I'll immediately start up a new one scheduled, so you'll know when I'm back. But yeah, sorry I couldn't quite get through all this in one, and I'll just quickly get that set up and stopped, and hopefully see you guys in a little bit. Okay.